Welcome to The Perspective, a podcast where we talk about movies and TV shows. Today in particular, we'll be talking about supernatural movies and TV shows. There may be some spoilers. I'm your host, Brianna.
I'm Allie.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Mac.
First off, we'll be talking about how horrible Twilight is.
I'd like to start off talking about the bad acting and the fact that they made the vampires glitter in the sun. Like, last time I checked, vampires were not lamps.
Yeah.
I think that is partially has to do with the bad actors in general because, they're not that great.
Yeah. And also that one scene where he, watches her sleep.
And she found that attractive. I think that if somebody was watching me sleep, I'd be a little creeped out.
Like, she found it okay that he was just in there watching her sleep. That's weird.
But, is he better than Jacob? Because Jacob's 2 years younger than both of them. Well, actually, 100 years younger than Edward, who was watching her sleep, Bella sleep. This is concerning. She doesn't have very good love interests. They all are really weird.
Why are the age gaps so weird? I mean, one is 2 years in high school, and then one is 100 years. Ooh.
I think Jacob's hotter, but I think Edward was better for Bella.
Really?
He's a stalker, tried to kill her multiple times.
I kind of agree, but it's still, don't like either of them.
Yeah. I don't really like the movies in general either.
I also think it has to do with Kristen Stewart being such an awkward actor, too. All of her interactions with, the other actors, in the show were just, so awkward. You can feel it, and that's just, I don't like that.
Yeah. And then she, jumps off a cliff for Edward, and then, the storyline is so weird, too, because she has a kid with Edward, and he, turns her into a vampire or something at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then the baby, grows up so fast, and then Jacob discovers that he wasn't in love with Bella, he was in love with her unborn child.
Yeah, that's...
Oh.
Yeah.
And then the CGI on the child is just so, it looks like a robot. It's not a baby. At that point, just, no. It's a no for me.
Age gaps, again, this grown man on this unborn kid, they have really terrible age gaps on this show. That's just another reason why it's not that great.
Yeah.
And there's another TV show called The Vampire Diaries, which is a lot better acting and a lot better actors. And, the age gaps are still a lot, obviously, because they're vampires,
Yeah.
But it's just definitely a lot better. And we're all trying to convince Kate to watch The Vampire Diaries because she has not seen it yet.
I have seen The Vampire Diaries probably 10 times all the way through. That's I don't know if it's weird to say, but that's my comfort show. That's what I watch.
Yeah, psychopaths and murderers and scary people who like to hurt people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think that the vampires are definitely a lot better too. They still burn in the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
They have speed, and they have strength, but they don't glitter in the sun.
Yeah, they make it more realistic because the whole thing behind vampires is they can't be seen in the sun. They can't walk in the sun, but the Vampire Diaries, the show made worked their way around it to make it more realistic with the daylight rings, and the way that the actors play their role is just so much better. You can really connect with the actors themselves.
Wait, so the daylight rings are an object that keeps them from dying?
Yeah, it is made by witches.
Made by witches.
Okay.
It's definitely an OP thing to have, if you're a vampire, because a lot of vampires don't have them, because witches hate vampires. They just don't deal with vampires. But
Blame Marcel for that.
Who?
Marcel?
Oh yeah.
The one who is threatening them the entire
originals,
time?
But that's just in New Orleans.
Just New Orleans.
Just New Orleans.
I also think that in the Vampire Diaries, the characters are definitely more realistic, and there's not as many stalkers, for one. And Elena, it's kind of relatable. I think it's really cool that she has two brothers fighting for her and all, but I don't think she should get with either one of them. You know,
Wait,
and
so-
I love that she cries a lot. Okay.
So you said less stalkers, so that implies there still are some.
To be honest, the only reason Stefan came back into Mystic Falls was because of Elena. So he kind of did stalk her just a little bit.
Yeah,
Just
because
a
he
little
did
bit.
describe, because when she like fell into the lake or whatever, he thought it was Catherine.
Yeah.
So he watched her to make sure it wasn't her. So yeah, there's a little bit of stalking, but it's like not weird. I feel like not as weird.
it's
He's
not
watching
as
her, He's not
weird.
watching her sleep.
But
Yeah.
didn't Damon meet Elena first?
yeah, but he compelled her to forget because
Yeah.
he left her from the start.
He thought she was Catherine. So technically, he came back before Stefan came back. So they both came back for Catherine. It wasn't Catherine. And they were like, oh, this is a better version of Catherine. Let's just get with her.
Well, yeah, but I mean, okay. The real question is, Team Damon or Stefan though?
Oh, Damon.
Damon.
100%. 100%.
Neither. Okay,
That's because you're more of the Michelsons, all right?
Okay,
Well,
but Stefan was technically better, but he was a ripper, like legit killed way more people than Damon did. But Damon did Caroline so dirty, and I love Caroline. So like I can't say either because they're both like have some good qualities and some bad
Yeah.
qualities.
That's true.
Okay.
but the way Damon loved Elena, the way he loved her so much, he was gonna let her go be with his brother because he knew Stefan was better for her.
Oh, how sweet. He wasn't. Stefan was not better. Damon was way better.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it's still sweet.
Yeah.
All right, another TV show that has really good lore that I know is Supernatural, and it doesn't have as much vampires, but because their vampires are kind of weird, honestly. They got like the weird teeth thing
yeah, they
going
got,
on.
like really sharp teeth and like it is really different from like most of the movies portray, but it's mainly about like the main characters, Sam and Dean, who are hunters and they hunt those supernatural creatures.
And it's like vampires, ghosts, demons, like Wendigos, werewolves, and like many other things that just are so strange, but honestly fit together to make a really good hunting TV show.
Mm-hmm. And the brothers, they're so like close. It's like mainly about like the brotherhood and like family that keeps like me and personally watching the show. 15 seasons.
Yeah, 15 seasons.
15 seasons.
4 characters.
Yeah.
4 characters.
I started watching it last year. I haven't finished it completely, but I do feel like just already, like there's so many lessons that I've learned, like especially with the whole family thing, because they're so close and like they're all that they have,
Yeah.
like truly, and like lessons are still being learned through the TV show, and that's something that like I really like about the show in general.
Mm-hmm.
I have watched the first 5-ish episodes, and I tried. That was like 3 years ago. Anyways, I think it's good. I love the Brotherhood, and that's all I've seen though because I haven't gotten that far in. But I don't know if I would keep watching it.
I did make my mom sleep with me for 3 days straight when I first started it. It
No,
was
the first
so
season
scary.
is scary, but
It
then it
is
gets
a
like
little
funnier.
creepy.
Yeah,
It is
like the
it
Bloody
is
Mary
creepy.
episode like
Oh,
traumatized
girl,
me.
that was scary.
Like her crawling out the mirror and everything. Like, no, go back. Go back into that mirror.
I will say it does have a lot of ghosts, like
Yeah.
a lot of paranormal
Yeah.
stuff, which honestly is kind of cooler.
Yeah, that's how I started watching it actually.
Yeah.
So with Vampire Diaries, I honestly don't know if I'd watch it. Because, I mean, it seems very drama-filled. How many seasons is it?
8.
8. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's 2 spin-offs though.
Yeah, I'm not watching the spin-offs. I'm
Yeah.
Oh, but the originals is way better than Vampire Diaries.
No.
sorry.
No.
It
So
is.
I might watch Vampire Diaries, but I'm not watching the spin-offs. Sorry.
I think you won't regret watching Vampire Diaries. It's pretty good. And that concludes our podcast with Kate's Decision. Thank you for listening. Until next time.